Hey, good evening, everyone. Good Monday evening to you. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving weekend. Weather over Thanksgiving was not great, but then it got a little bit better over the course of the weekend before. The rain pushed in today, and we've got snow to talk about, of course. I refer you to my social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, to find lots and lots of information I have posted around the clock over the last couple of days. Check out my in-depth recorded weather video, Weather for Weather Geeks. The links are on Twitter and on Facebook as well, on my YouTube channel. On this video, we're going to do a live update on the radar this evening and talk about what we can expect overnight and during the day on Tuesday as we welcome in December. In December, we'll get off to a rip-roaring start. All right, it's 9:10 p.m., and here's a look at the radar. Kind of a lot of messy colors here. What we have going on is a little bit of light snow, a little bit of rain, some snizzle, I like to call it. It's kind of a mix of snow and drizzle. It's just kind of murky out there. All this is pretty low impact, as expected. The impacts really won't kick in until we head into the overnight hours tonight, and some of the steadier snow off to our west begins to rotate east. It's been snowing all evening in Columbus, Mount Vernon, Mansfield, heading up into the western suburbs of Cleveland. And the transition from rain to snow is occurring from west to east. And eventually any raindrops are going to disappear as we go through the next few hours and be replaced by some snowflakes, of course. All of this is because we have a doozy of a system that is kind of a merging of the southern branch of the jet stream and the northern branch of the jet stream. These are coming together to form a big low pressure system that's going to slowly pivot through the region. That low pressure is kind of this closed in area. Maybe hard to see on my yellow drawing tool here, but it's that area right through there that is responsible for the winter storm that is still in its maturing stage. So yeah, rain changes to snow overnight, and then as we go into the late night hours, into tomorrow morning, it's going to be snowing lightly just about everywhere. But embedded in that lighter snow, we're going to be concerned about some bands of lake enhancement or lake effect, enhancing the snow rates in parts of northeast Ohio and northwest PA. This will make for, I think, kind of pretty changeable conditions tomorrow morning. If you do need to hit the roads tomorrow morning, then you want to allow for some extra travel time and be prepared for changeable conditions. You'll be rolling along fine with light snow and mostly wet roads, and then bam, you may run into a heavier snow band that has led to snow-covered roads and slick conditions. And if you do have to travel tomorrow for some reason up to the Cleveland area, that's the real trouble spot. Taking 422 or the Turnpike up towards Cleveland is trouble tomorrow, because there's going to be some very hefty snowfall totals up there. Here's one run of one model. I'll get my head out of the way here. One run of one model showing hourly snow accumulations. Now, this might be a little underdone, I think, tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be surprised if you're up around daybreak tomorrow, 8, 9 o'clock, if we have 1.5 inches or even 2 inches in some spots. So these numbers might be a little bit low, but one thing for sure, you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and have 6 inches of snow on the ground. That's not the way this is going to work. This is a long duration event. And so if your expectations are, hey, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning to a winter wonderland and half a foot of snow, no, that's not going to happen. This is going to be snow. This is going to be snow for 24 hours or more. And at times, it's going to be pretty light. It's not going to accumulate that fast, but other times it'll be a little bit heavier. So just because even by lunchtime tomorrow, maybe you only have 2 or 3 inches on the ground, and you're saying, hey, what happened to 5 to 7 inches? Still a long way to go. It's not going to really stop snowing completely until later tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. So you get the idea here. A couple or a few inches by midday tomorrow, and then as we head towards tomorrow evening, 3, 4, 5, even 6 or more will be a possibility depending on where you live. You oftentimes hear me say, if you've watched my videos before or follow me on social media, computer models are just a tool for us. It's not the answer key. Just like a hammer will not build the house for you, or the deck, or the shed, you have to use that hammer in order to build those things. Meteorologists use the computer models as a tool, one of several tools in creating a forecast. Here's a look at several of our major computer models and their ideas for snow accumulations, kind of in the heart of our viewing area. Warren to Youngstown, down to Boardman and Canfield, kind of southern Trumbull, northern Mahoning. Each model is a brightly colored line here. And as you can see, there's pretty good model agreement here that before all is said and done, we're somewhere in this zone, which is, 4, 5, 6, inches. And again, I'm not going to be surprised if we have a little bit more than 6 in some places. Now, as you go down towards East Liverpool, closer to the river, low-lying area, and in the southeastern part of our viewing area, I'm not expecting 6 inches or more down there. Probably on the order of 3, 4, 5 before all is said and done tomorrow night, very early Wednesday morning. Here's a look at the regional snow map, and I'll go over a few locations here if you're interested in some areas that are technically outside of our television viewing area. Now, over towards the Akron area in Summit County, I think 5, 6, 7 will be pretty common over there. Maybe even close to 8 or 9 or 10 in northern parts of Summit, a little bit closer to the Cleveland metro. In the Canton area, a little bit farther to the south along I-77, probably more like 4 to 5, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Pittsburgh area, probably firmly in the 3 or 4 zone, maybe 5 at the most. And then as you get into the hearts of our television viewing area, we'll zoom in here, and if you're watching me from Trumbull and Mercer, 5, 6, 7's pretty good bet. And I'm not going to be surprised if the far northern reaches of these counties have more like 7 or 8 or 9. So Bloomfield, Mesopotamia, Kinsman, Greenville, places like that. A little bit closer to the Ashtabula line, a little bit closer to the Crawford County line in Pennsylvania. Yeah, some 7+ inch amounts could occur up there. I think Warren, Niles, Cortland, Sharon, Girard, Liberty, heading over towards Hermitage, Hubbard, Sharpsville, etc., 5, 6, 7, pretty common through there, even down to Boardman and Canfield. Now, once you're south of Salem, south of Columbiana, you're going to have a hard time getting more than 5. I suspect in most spots it's more like 3 or 4, perhaps 5. Still enough to shovel and plow and cause travel disruptions. It's just the amounts will be somewhat lower, we think, with a little less lake enhancement down in those communities in Columbiana and southern Lawrence counties. Now, this snow is going to be fairly wet. Oftentimes you hear us talk about snow-to-liquid ratios. In other words, kind of a typical ratio around here is 12 to 1. In other words, an inch of rain is roughly equivalent to 12 inches of snow. The higher these numbers are, the fluffier and dustier the snow is, and it gets a little bit easier to move that kind of snow around. It's not great for making a snowball, but it's a little easier to move around. The wetter the snow is, the more your back might hurt if you're shoveling this, and the better snowball snow it is. So this is going to be a little on the wetter side, with probably ratios averaging 11 to 1, something like that, during the duration of this event. And with that kind of goopier snow and some gusty winds tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be a huge deal, but it's going to be possible that we have some power outages here and there across the region. Nothing on the order like we had a couple weeks ago with the 60+ mile per hour winds, but 5 inches of wetter snow with winds gusting to 30 miles an hour, 35, yeah, it's going to be a possibility. But by far and away, the biggest impacts, the highest impacts, the biggest deal is going to be on the roads. Now, that being said, we're not getting all the snow at once. It's coming over 24 hours, basically. And there's going to be times in which the snow is not coming down very hard. There's also going to be the temperature profile of the atmosphere. Down here at the ground, it's going to be 30, 31, 32. Road treatment and salt is very effective at that kind of temperature. It's much different if it's 19 or 20 degrees and snowing. When it's 31, that stuff can work really well. And again, because some of the time the snow will be kind of light, I'm optimistic that the road crews will be able to keep up with this, with the exception of when we get in a heavier lake-enhanced band. Then you'll get snowfall rates that'll be a little bit harder to keep up with. So, especially if you're doing some traveling for some reason out of our area and to the north. For some reason you're going to Cleveland tomorrow, or Ashtabula or Erie, you'll want to take this especially seriously. Make sure that your car is ready. Make sure you have plenty of washer fluid. Make sure your gas tank's at least half full. You got lots of tire pressure, I should say, in your car. And just as a general reminder, as we head into the winter season, again, for a lot of us, this isn't the kind of storm in which you're going to be stuck and stranded or anything like that, unless you happen to be heading to Cleveland, where there might be a foot or more of snow. But just as a general rule, as we head into the winter season, it's a good idea to have an emergency kit in your car with maybe cat litter to help you in case traction's an issue and you need to get out of the ditch. Of course, ice scraper, always have a phone charger with you, blankets, a little bit of food, a good idea just in case if you're, out in one of our bigger winter storms and you happen to have some issues. It's just a good general safety rule, even if this particular storm should not result in a whole lot of issues as far as the severity of people getting stranded and things like that. This isn't the blizzard of 78 or anything like that. But again, if you happen to be heading to Cleveland tomorrow, you're going to run into much more severe issues on the roads the closer you are to the lake shore. All right, we're about an hour and a half away from 21 News at 11. I'll have a full update on the radar, the latest models, the latest snow map, everything you need to know coming up on the TV side. And if you're not watching on TV, you can always stream it. WFMJ.com, the Storm Tracker 21 app as well. And also in the Storm Tracker 21 app is where you'll find the latest custom forecast for your location, hour-by-hour breakdown, short videos, much shorter than this one, found on the app as well. So make sure you download it. It's a free app. It's the best weather app you can find for our area. Thank you for watching our live stream tonight. Hope you'll tune in tonight, and I'll have more updates not only tonight, but throughout the course of a very snowy